The gaming landscape is changing. Console-exclusive games are rapidly becoming a thing of the past, and we recently got a ton of official news and legitimate leaks that seems to lay out Sony's plans for expanding the PlayStation brand on other platforms. So today, we're going to go over all the PlayStation PC ports that are expected to launch in 2024, and so far, the list is actually looking pretty insane because not only has Sony confirmed some of these, but we also have some very trusted insiders that are listing off other first-party PlayStation games that are going to be on Steam by the end of the year. So let me know in the comments which of these games you want to drop on Steam first. Drop a like. And in case you missed it, there was a leak in January on 4chan from someone who claimed to be associated with Nixxes, which is the PlayStation-owned studio that primarily focuses on PC ports of console games. The leaker claimed that Sony has 5 PC ports planned for this year. Those being Ghost of Tsushima, Demon's Souls, Gran Turismo 7, Last of Us 2, and God of War Ragnarok. Now, given the fact that this leak originated on 4chan, a lot of people dismissed it outright, which is understandable, but things have been heating up. Roughly 2 months after the 4chan leak came out, Sony confirmed that Ghost of Tsushima was coming to PC in May of 2024, which is not only a very quick turnaround from announcement to release, but it's also seemingly a piece of confirmation that the leak was real. And on top of the Ghost, some other reliable gaming insiders are now claiming that Sony is mere weeks away from announcing Last of Us 2 for PC. Yeah. It's reportedly also going to be coming out this year, albeit with a longer waiting period between the announcement and the launch. Now, the PC port of the first Last of Us game may have been a technical mess, but it was still a huge seller, so hopefully Sony and Naughty Dog learn their lessons with the sequel's port, don't hire an Iron Galaxy this time around, and assuming the 4chan leak is actually legit, which it seems to be the case, that means by the end of the year, PC players will have official ports of Demon's Souls, Gran Turismo 7, God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. That's huge. Now, there seems to be a bit of misconception regarding how much money Sony's PC ports actually make, but I'm going to lay those to rest for you guys. Just because the PC versions of God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn didn't sell as many copies as the PlayStation versions does not mean they're not successful. It was leaked not too long ago that Sony had sold millions of copies of their first-party games on PC, which is honestly pretty impressive because these are full-price ports of games that are years old. So basically, everyone buying these games on PC have already had the story spoiled for them, yet they want to buy them anyway. So just imagine how many additional copies that Sony would sell if they include PC players in the hype for day one. And Ghost of Tsushima has been one of the most requested PC ports to date, which explains why within mere hours of the Steam page going live, it shot up to the top 5 bestsellers on Steam. Those pre-orders were coming in hot. That's insane. Now, Ghost is going to sell like crazy on PC, and after Helldivers 2 also sold like crazy on PC, I think Sony may be taking the PC market a bit more seriously in the near future. I know. There's at least a few of you watching this who have this knee-jerk reaction to PlayStation games going to other platforms, and to an extent, I get it. PlayStation has always prided itself on having critically acclaimed first-party titles that you couldn't play anywhere else, so it's certainly a bit strange to see Sony start porting their games to the PC. Trust me, I've been a PlayStation fan for a long time. Seeing franchises like God of War and The Last of Us get released on Steam, it takes a bit of getting used to, but no matter how you want to look at it, it's good for everybody. It's good for Sony, it's good for the gamers, it's good for everybody. Now look, I know you and I may love the PlayStation consoles for what they offer, but at the end of the day, a lot of people are gamers who are never going to buy a PlayStation. They're not. There's way more PC gamers than console gamers in the world today, and a lot of those PC gamers are simply not going to buy a PlayStation. Sony is recognizing that. The PC doesn't really compete with the PlayStation the way the Xbox does. The PC is not a single piece of hardware that's developed and distributed by one company. Microsoft makes the Xbox. Sony makes the PlayStation. Who makes the PC? Nobody. The PC is a collection of parts made by a ton of different companies, which is why there's not one unified PC storefront or PC operating system. The PC simply isn't a direct competitor to the PlayStation, so it's not like Sony is losing sales when they put their first-party games on Steam or even the Epic Games Store. In fact, it's the opposite. The majority of PC gamers don't own a PlayStation, and they're not going to buy one, so in order to play Sony's first-party games, well, Sony meets them halfway, puts their games on the PC, then they'll make money off those gamers that they previously weren't going to make any money off of. The money goes right back into the PlayStation budget, so they can make more first-party experiences. Now, on top of that, Sony confirmed recently that the PlayStation console has not hit expectations, and it's been confirmed that the sales of first-party games are not doing a great job at making back budgets. Now, yes, games like Spider-Man 2 sold great, but that game also had a budget of over $300 million, so the profit margin was much harder to maintain than other AAA projects. It's also recently proven by Helldivers 2 that releasing a first-party game on the PC on launch day and allowing the PC community to be part of the hype for the campaign can do incredible things for a game's sales numbers. You may not like it from a business perspective, but Sony has every reason to start releasing more games on the PC and stop being so strict about their console exclusivity. The profits just aren't there anymore. And since the PC isn't a direct competitor to the PlayStation, why would you not include the PC community in all of the fun? You should, every single time. Now, it's also worth pointing out, PC tends to have a bit of a different focus when it comes to what games get popular. The most popular games on Steam are consistently titles like Counter-Strike, Dota, Souls-like, stuff like that. PC players absolutely love all that stuff. It's been proven time and time again that From Software games put in incredible numbers on Steam. They do. Mark my words. If Demon's Souls or Bloodborne ever come to Steam, they will be at the top of the sales charts within an hour of pre-orders going live. No doubt about it. I guarantee it. There's so much money to be made for Sony by simply porting all their old games to PC. I mean, if they see this, you know they're just sitting back like, here we go. We have this entire backlog and library, and we are just about to start regurgitating all this, and people will eat it up. Start including the PC in their hype campaigns in the future. Sony confirmed that they don't have any major franchise first-party games coming out for at least another year, so 2024 may end up being the year that almost every PS5 exclusive becomes playable on the PC. I just hope for PC players that it becomes the new norm. It should have been the norm a long time ago. We should get away from this exclusivity, and I think now the money is starting to talk in terms of these big companies actually listening. I hope in the future we get to a point where these games drop simultaneously all the time. Do you remember back in the early COD days when Sony had a deal or Xbox had a deal and you wouldn't be able to get the DLC on one or the other and you wouldn't get it a month later? It was absolutely crazy because it made you determine which console you were going to buy, and most gamers couldn't afford both consoles, so they pretty much got screwed if they were on the wrong one at the wrong time for the wrong contract. It bounced back and forth for a while. One time it was Sony, then it was Xbox. It's absolutely silly. We're in 2024. Give all gamers an opportunity to play all games. I promise you in the end, it's not some guy in the back on a spreadsheet saying, oh, this isn't good for our bottom line. I promise you in the end, it is absolutely great for these companies. Some of them just can't see it. They can't see it until it's right there smacking them in the face. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree or do you disagree? Are you of that vein where you like the exclusivity, or are you of the vein where you think it should be available readily for everybody? Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.